this organization was formed in last February 2024. And there is a big history to the organization. And as you saw, अभी जो incident हुआ, a simple thing like a projector takes a lot of time to set up, even for technical people like us. Now imagine how would you run the bank with technology if you don't have the right people. Okay, core banking, AI, KYC, AML. So I will explain what this umbrella is about, uh, why it was formed, and what is the structure of the organization, who are the members, and also what we have done in the past 4 months. That also I'll explain. And what is our long-term vision for the sector? Actually, it is quite heartening to see that Sauharda Foundation, who has invited us today here, they are conducting this session for the member banks, okay? And it's quite like, I'm glad to know that you are conducting session for AI, cyber security. In the past 4 months, I have only seen one other federation who is doing such a work. That is in Maharashtra, in Nasik Federation. So we had attended their event, a 3 or 4 day event in Lucknow. So they took all their, about I think so 300 people to Lucknow. And then they had this about 2 to 3 day event where they had multiple topics: cyber security, core banking, IT in general, governance, banking regulation, the upcoming PCA Act. So all those things they were trying to inform and educate, make the urban cooperative banks aware about it. Foreign organization, say countries, you have many organizations like this. If you see the map, so in Canada you have Desjardins, in USA you have CUSO, in Australia you have CUFS, and then in the European Union you have Rabobank, Credit Agricole, all those umbrella organizations are there. And especially in the European Union, you have one EACB. That is the umbrella of umbrella organizations. And all these organizations are there for the past 30, 40 years. And the why I'm telling you this is not a new concept. It's a successful concept because during that 2008 crisis, global meltdown, जो Lehman Brothers का भी crisis हुआ था, many big banks, okay, they got closed down, their license got cancelled, they lost their business. But all the cooperative banks, because of this umbrella, they did not lose their money. None of the banks got closed in these countries because of the umbrella. So, based on this experiment, this knowledge, there were, say, like many committees and many, say, initiatives from the ministry also to form such an organization in India. So if you see, our timeline starts from 2006. So right from 2006, this concept was there. So we completely understand that the urban cooperative banks may be expecting, say, technology solutions, guidance, governance, all those things from the umbrella, because the story is quite old, like right from 2006. So if you see, there are various committees. Typically 4 committees were there from RBI who studied all the foreign umbrellas and then put up this, say, initiative to the regulator RBI. And also when in 2019, the Ministry of Cooperation got formed, then this creation of umbrella took speed. Finally, when NAFCB took the initiative in 2022, then in 2023, RBI said, okay, you raise funds. You raise funds about, say, 100 crores. Then come back to us. We will give you a license. So when we raised about 117 crores in, I think so, January or February 2024, then in February 2024, RBI gave us a certificate of registration. So we were formed as an umbrella organization for the urban cooperative banks. And in last year, March, this organization was launched by the Minister of Cooperation, Amit Shah, in Vigyan Bhavan in Delhi. Thereafter, they started hiring professionals like me, my CEO, Prabhat Chaturvedi. I have Piyush Mistry here, who is also heading our cyber security and technology, CFO. So we are a small team today. We have our office in Mumbai. We have a registered office in Delhi. And we are trying to, say, uplift the entire sector, both technically as well as financially. But all this we can do if we get all your support and all the urban cooperative banks become member. So, as I said, we joined in September. So, in the past 4.5 months, we have been traveling right from, say, Uttarakhand to Kerala, Trivandrum, and from, say, Kutch till Guwahati, Assam, we have been traveling. We have traveled about, say, 12 states so far. And we are meeting the banks, we are meeting NUCFDC, we are meeting the state federations, district federations, and then also the state cooperative banks, the local RCS, CRCS, all those people we are meeting. The reason behind meeting all these people is to understand what the sector wants, okay? Because we may start thinking and doing some working technology which may not be solving your problem, then the entire exercise is of no meaning. So we want to understand what the sector wants. So apart from meeting, we also conducted surveys, online surveys. I don't know if people here would have received link for our surveys. If not, I will again send that link for the surveys. In those surveys, roughly about 250, 260 banks participated, and these are the top 5 problems, okay, which the banks told us. If you see, the biggest problem the banks are facing is the IT cost, huge IT cost. And that, let me tell you that this cost is not going to reduce. It will keep on increasing because more and more technology comes, although they say technology costs come down, but the technology cost has 2-3 parts. One is the hardware, software, another is the its licenses, maintenance, and third is the biggest part is about the person, the people, the skills who are managing this entire thing. The skill part is very, very costly, and that cost keeps on increasing. So you can see the storage, server costs are reduced, memory costs are reduced, chip costs are reduced, but the people cost is increasing. Another big issue what the banks told us is about core banking. And in core banking, they said we had core banking, say, version issues. We have started the upgrade project, but vendor is not supporting. The upgrade project has, say, taken years to complete. Even after upgrade, we are still getting, say, non-compliance points from RBI. Then IT manpower is one other issue which they said. So typically in all these sessions, wherever we conduct, what we say is there is this minister from the central government, Ashwini Vaishnav. So what he says is in the past 10 years, the government has created about, say, 144 IITs and IIMs across the country. Now, we also need to see the other side, that the students who are passing from these big institutes, definitely they will not be coming and working in cooperative banks. They will go for higher salaries, they will go abroad, they will go for big companies like Google, Amazon, or say bigger banks, okay? Now, how do we solve this problem? Because you also need people, good skills to run the show, but at the same time, because of the education and the availability of such big institutes, the candidates in remote areas also are wanting to go out, they don't want to stay back. There could be exceptions, 5-10%, but generally that is the trend we have seen, and that is leading to more and more recruitment problem. So what is happening is you are then wanting to have a good cyber security person, but eventually then you try to compromise on the quality, which ultimately leads to the compliance issue. For the IT challenges, we also captured some business challenges, something like what we have also heard from the banks is that, sir, हमारी बैंक में तो 2 जनरेशन से हमारे कस्टमर है, बट उनके जो बच्चे हैं वो उनका एजुकेशन लोन भी हमने किया है, वो बाहर पढ़ने के लिए गए हैं, दे हैव गॉन फॉर स्टडीड आउटसाइड, से यूएस, ऑस्ट्रेलिया, न्यूजीलैंड, एंड व्हेन दे आर कमिंग बैक, they are not banking with us. So that's typically what we have seen. That is one part. So younger generation customers are not banking with cooperative banks. Second is the average age of the staff in the cooperative banks is beyond 45. Okay. Whereas if you see the HDFCs, Kotak banks, okay, the average age is below 30. Entire staff I am saying. There are seniors also. But out of the entire, say, 20-30,000 people, the average age would be below 30. There are issues like profitability. Again, that I don't need to explain. PSL targets is one big thing which government is also looking into. So 75% of the, say, should be the PSL targets, and how we as an umbrella can help you achieve that. And then the compliance. So this compliance is business compliance, something like not following IRAC norms, giving loans to, say, directors and his relatives, then not doing proper KYC, AML, giving more exposure than the limits prescribed. So those are the non-compliance points, what the banks have told us. Next. Now that was one part where we conducted surveys, we met the banks and captured the information. RBI had conducted 2 events for all the member banks who are members of the umbrella. So one event was in Pune, College of Agricultural Banking, and another event was in Gandhinagar, Gujarat. What RBI had done was they had formed a panel of the urban cooperative banks, and they had asked that panel that you present what you are expecting as a sector from the umbrella. Now this particular slide is a summary of all that expectation. If you see, they are asking about IT services, they are asking about payment, digital, net banking. In fact, they are also asking about treasury and forex, like call money, put money options. So all this expectation is what the sector wants. And let me tell you, when we heard this for the first time, I think it was the month of September, we had just joined. And we had presented what we want to do. And when these banks presented what they are expecting, there was a 70 to 80% match. What our understanding was and what the sector wanted. See, I don't have any experience of cooperative banking. Earlier I was with IDBI Bank. I used to support about 123 rural banks and urban cooperative banks for RTGS, NEFT payment services. I was the CTO for the bank. And then before that I was with SBI. Same with most of our team members, we don't have the cooperative banking experience. However, we have seniors on our board and on our, say, advisors who are from RBI, who are from cooperative banks, people from, say, Saraswat Bank, people from Gujarat Federations are on our, say, board. So they are helping us to understand this, but at the same time, we are meeting banks, talking to RBI, NPCI, okay, and the federations to get this information. I will not go into detail of each one of them. This entire presentation we will share with all of you. Next slide. So a quick look at what has been the penalties from RBI on the sector. So if you see in the past 6 years or 7 years rather, 39 crores penalty RBI has levied on all the urban cooperative banks across the sector, okay, or across India. Now, there were about 416 orders. These are not number of banks, these are orders. So count of orders. It could be one bank maybe penalized twice, like that. So this is like lost opportunity, this is your money which you have lost in penalty. This was like, it could have helped you to increase your profit had it been that you were not penalized due to whatever non-compliance. In Karnataka, we see out of the 251 banks, 22 banks were penalized with a penalty of 1.1 crores, okay, in the past 7 years. We have the complete data also. I think so the banks who were penalized, definitely they must have received the letter from RBI, but if anyone wants, we can provide the data also. Sir, what has happened is, in this period, there were many non-compliances happening on the business, and there were quite a big set directions from RBI regarding what should be the board composition. There should be various committees. There were limits prescribed. The PSL things got, say, implemented. IRAC norms they had, published. Then there were about SAF rules and the AID rules. So all this, they started making it more stringent, and banks also started adhering to that. That's the reason we are seeing a reduction. However, still like there are a good number of penalties, okay, which we see. Next slide. So these are the reasons for the penalty. In the order of, say, the number 1 will be having the highest amount of penalty in terms of cumulative amount. So if, as I said, IRAC norms, loans to directors, then non-observance of KYC. So the 15 reasons are there. Out of that, if you see the red ones, these are the reasons why the banks in Karnataka were penalized. So out of the total 15 reasons, the red ones are the one by which the banks are penalized in Karnataka. Next slide. So now that we have told you what we understood from you and what RBI also told us, I'll just present you what is our vision. So we have a three-pronged approach. One is to set up a cyber resilient, okay, and centralized IT for all the urban cooperative banks. What it means is that we will be doing all the, say, right from procurement of servers to maintaining, installing the application, maintaining it, VAPT, AppSec, cyber security, audit, compliance, everything we will do. The ownership of the data will with the banks. You will be having your own separate areas, tenants in that infrastructure of umbrella organization, so that you focus more on the business. And this is what RBI also has told us in our certificate of registration, that you should say help to reduce the IT effort of these banks because of many reasons. There are, say, smaller banks, unit banks, to bigger banks like Saraswat, but not every bank has the capacity as well as doesn't have the say skills and financial power to invest so much into IT. So that's the reason they have, RBI has asked us that we should centralize the entire IT. The access to data, the access to your servers, say any kind of, say, backend changes you want to do, all those things will be still be with you. It's just that we will be doing all the maintaining, managing, custodian of the entire IT. Second is on the financial side. In their, say, issuance of license to us, what the RBI told us that you should also provide financial support to the urban cooperative banks, maybe something like distress funding, liquidity support, refinance. Then you can also give them loans to these banks, okay? Then something like you are wanting to have, say, daily floats or daily, say, call money options. If you are getting, say, about 4 or 4.5%, then we can provide at 6.5%, like that. And if some banks are venturing into Forex or treasury operations, those also we can provide. Third is about the consultancy, and consultancy means guidance in various areas like cyber security, tax, audit, legal, then risk management, corporate governance, the upcoming PCA Act. Now what will happen from 1st April? What changes for urban cooperative banks? So all those things we will take care, we'll advise you. At the same time, not only advising, we'll also provide you the manpower. How? I will explain in subsequent slides. Next slide. So this is a small, say, statistics. If you see, we are here, all the urban cooperative banks, if we combine them, in the sense, integrate backend, all banks remain individually different, but if you come together for, say, payments or whatever, okay, then if you see our combined assets become 7.7 trillion and deposits become 5.5 trillion. Together for this 1,472 banks. Meaning is we become the 9th largest bank collectively in India, in all the list of public sector and private sector banks. But if I see only public sector, we become the 5th largest. If we go to private sector, cumulatively we become the 5th largest. So that way, that is the potential for if we come together, and then whenever the customer also interacts with us, he can say get the experience of interacting with a bigger bank, with a bigger organization, which is integrated. Something like, say, Amul. So Amul has 13 brands behind the scene, but it's a common brand which is coming, and each of the organizations like, say, Mehsana, okay, and all those other cooperatives, they also have their own identity. So meaning is something like a bank in Karnataka, on their bank signage, you will see the bank's name, and then you can see a common umbrella brand, okay. That brand also will create with your help. We are running a campaign for that. And what it will help is all your technology, governance, compliance, all the problems will be taken care of by us. You focus more and more on business, collections, attracting young generation customers, doing that proper, say, corporate governance, all those things. Next slide. So this is a broad spread of the banks. Although there are 1,472 banks, the 70% of banks are in these 4 states. So Gujarat, Maharashtra, Karnataka, and Tamil Nadu. So these 4 are the like big brothers in this entire sector. So if we are able to get all the membership from these 4 states itself, then the entire development of centralized infrastructure, centralized talent pool, all these things becomes easier. So this is our vision. So that in our when the minister launched our office also, so on 24th January, Amit Shah ji launched our office in Mumbai. It was a big event. About 3,000 people had come from and various state cooperatives, district cooperatives. The ministers had come to launch our office. And in that, he had also announced that all the urban cooperative banks should provide all kind of banking service to its customers, which the bigger banks like HDFC or SBI are offering. Now, depending on your, say, business mix or product mix or customer segment, you can pick and choose. Say, for example, if you don't want to do trade finance, or if you don't want to do, say collections in certain sector or agri, okay, that way you are free to choose. But as an umbrella, we'll provide you full suite of service. You can pick and choose and start the business. An example is something like a bank in a box. Tomorrow, if you want to open a new branch, you don't need to worry about how many pieces I need to, say, purchase, what network I need to put, how many ATMs I need to purchase, core banking ke liye I need to purchase more licenses. All that you don't need to worry. You just need to put a request. I need to open a branch, 5, 6 staffs, and this is what the customer footprint would be. You can immediately start the branch within 2 days. So these are the initial set of services. I'll explain in detail in the subsequent slides. So right from providing you a CBS to centralized infrastructure to cyber security, compliance monitoring, there's also a marketplace that we are trying to build. Marketplace is something like for you to procure PC, scanner, printers, CTS scanners, Wi-Fi routers. Because see what happens, all these banks, when they go and negotiate with the vendor for purchasing, say, desktop, laptop, okay, tiny desktop. So if the price is, say, 70,000 rupees, you can negotiate probably, say, 10% out of that, because the other party, the vendor also thinks that, okay, basis the volume, he can provide you a suitable, say, discount. But imagine if umbrella negotiates for 1,472 banks. And for those banks, if we negotiate for the PCs, imagine the cost reduction we can get. And not only PCs, this applies for your servers, softwares, any kind of software. I'll give a live example. In the month of October, one of the banks in Mumbai, they approached us saying that they are wanting to purchase about 230 tiny desktops. And they were asking, sir, can you provide us the rates? So we told them, sir, we are just forming. We haven't empaneled any vendor. We haven't discovered any price. But we can help you. We'll talk to few vendors and give you the price. So we spoke to 5, 6 vendors. And we explained the vendor also, like who we are, who are behind us in terms of the number of banks, the kind of volume that we will bring. So we got a rate and we provided the L1 to that bank. The thing to note is the price that we quoted, which we didn't even negotiate. The vendors gave us a price, we forward the same price to the bank, and the bank used that price to further negotiate. But whatever price we had given to the bank, that was lesser than the 3-year-old price what they had purchased the equipment. So that is the kind of, say, this is just an example. This was only for 200 or 230 odd desktops. Imagine if we are purchasing for, say, 10,000 desktops. So in my earlier experience when I was in IDBI, we purchased 20,000 desktops in 2 tranches, 10,000 each. So when you give an order for 20,000, the price definitely comes down. It comes with lot of, say, free and discount things like warranty for 5 years, antivirus inbuilt, OS inbuilt, all those things comes, okay, which if all of us come together, everybody will get the advantage. Even a bank with, say, 5 branches to a bank having, say, 200 branches. So everybody can get advantage. Then we have shared services for manpower. We also have councils and training. I'll explain each one of them in subsequent slide. Next slide, please. Next. So today we are here at stage one, that we have been formed by RBI to transform the entire sector, both in terms of technology, in terms of compliance, governance, and also the fund-based or financial side. Today we are about, say, out of the 300 crore capital that we were supposed to raise, we are standing at 250.45 crore capital. So we just short of 50 odd crores. RBI already has given us an extension. Once we reach 300 crore, they have asked us to approach them, and then we become the SRO for the sector. SRO meaning is self-regulatory organization. What will happen is RBI will delegate some of the regulation to us so that we regulate the urban cooperative banks, just like what NABARD does for the state cooperative, rural cooperative, okay, and district cooperative banks. Same function we will be doing for urban cooperative banks. It helps us, right, in some of the, say, limitations or guidelines, something like PSL. We can take up that case, we become your voice, and then go to RBI saying, this is what the change we want in regulation. So that way we will become the SRO once we reach 300 crores. And eventually maybe in the next 2 years or so, once we cross the 1,000 crore capital, we will become a bank. Bank as in not as a retail bank, we will become a banker's bank, like bank for the urban cooperative banks. So we can provide you, say, loans, advances, deposits. Sorry. So all those things we can provide you. Next slide. So these are the top 5 challenges. So out of the list of challenges which we had, say, gathered and which we shown you today, these are the top 5. The first one is about the lack of skilled manpower. So as I explained, the first one is about the lack of skilled manpower. So the banks, and this is true not only in remote areas, but also in Mumbai. I'll give you an example. One tier 3 bank in Mumbai, they approached us, sir, RBI has asked us to appoint a CISO, a Chief Information Security Officer. And imagine a bank in Mumbai is not able to recruit it because they cannot afford it. A good CISO, a good cyber security expert will charge you anything beyond 50 lakhs per year. Second challenge, what the banks and what we have started in our journey to roll out is the core banking service. So already we have, say, floated a tender for core banking. Third is about the cyber security, which I already mentioned, cyber security and huge IT cost. So huge IT cost we will be helping you to reduce by way of centralizing the entire IT. And fourth is your weak posture in compliance, which you already saw because of the penalties RBI has levied in the past 7 years. How we are going to help you on compliance, I will present you that. And last is the attracting the digital or the young generation customers. So many banks whose net worth is, say, less than 50 crores, RBI prohibits them from providing net banking, mobile banking services, and I don't need to tell the other things like UPI, IMPS, RTGS. So they are sometimes using some sponsor banks, okay. So we have discussed with RBI already, and we told them that if the umbrella organization is hosting the entire, say, infrastructure and applications for, say, net banking, mobile banking, UPI switch, IMPS switch, clearing system, then will you allow these banks to, say, provide these kind of service to their customers? RBI has agreed to that. We just need to provide them the proposal. We are already meeting them next week. So we will provide them a proposal, so they will allow. So the advantage is all the smaller banks also can provide, say, your own UPI handles. Today maybe you may be providing the UPI handles of some bigger banks or maybe from PhonePe, Google Pay, but tomorrow your own bank's UPI handles you can provide to your customers who could be retail customers or MSME customers, okay, so that you can also tap in the merchant acquiring business. Next slide. So how are we solving the lack of skilled manpower? So first is we are creating a panel of experts from the UCBs itself, sector. From the sector, we are creating an expert panel. We have shortlisted about say 55 urban cooperative banks, and we are going to create 5 panels, each containing 11 members. So these panels are chairman panel, CEO panel, CIO panel, then cyber security panel, and then risk or compliance panel. We will be sending you email for the nominations. The objective is that whenever, say, the umbrella is trying to roll out any new service or is thinking of, say, rolling out any new service or product, we will exchange the entire, say, proposal and ideas with this panel. And this panel will validate, okay, whether this particular service or product, will it help the urban cooperative banks? Is it commercially, say, viable? Will it be accepted by the sector? That is one part which the panel will do. Second part is any problems the urban cooperative banks are facing, they can contact these panels. Because if we cannot reach across India, so just like our democracy, we are creating this panel who will be the voice of UCBs for us. So these 5 panels we are creating that will help you to get the expertise. Next is we are also creating a industry expert panel. Already we have floated a tender. Now this industry expertise in the area of IT, tax, GST, audit, risk, say treasury, and say any money market, collections, contact center, all these or say legal expertise you want. So we are empaneling these say partners, vendors, consultant companies along with discovering the rate, okay, so that any bank say in Karwar it gets a letter from say RBI or DFS. Now what to do, what needs to be the response, what is the action to be taken. More often than not, what happens is you try to reach out to your local or say regional lawyer or a tax expert, okay, and he may not be that much expert in that area, but you don't have a choice. So through this expert panel, the best of the expertise available in say top cities, you will get at a fractional cost. You don't need to appoint, empanel, hire, say for example, a tax auditor or a lawyer. You can just raise a request to our say portal. You can get it for at a fractional cost for that specific work, and then after the project gets completed, you can make the payment, and then it is easier for you to get this work done at a faster rate. Third is about centralized bench. The way I explained that many of the say top IT skills and top say CAs and auditors are not available in all the areas. So we will hire them at the umbrella and then provide you at a fractional cost on say deputation basis or a monthly basis, maybe hybrid setup like online, offline, so that your cost reduces, but at the same time you get all the expertise that you need to run the bank, both in terms of technology, also in terms of banking operations. Because the talent who is passing out of all these colleges, BSc colleges, say BCom colleges, MBA colleges, IITs, IIMs, okay, they also are say rightly so, they are also trying to wish for some big brand to work with. Now when we hire them, we are a bigger brand who is the umbrella for all the 1472 say urban cooperative banks in India. So then they will be recruited to us, and it's not that we will recruit only in say Mumbai or Delhi. We will recruit across India so that you get the local expertise also and at a best rate. Last is about training, which will help us to resolve this skilled manpower problem. Now, already there are many institutes who are carrying out the training, and we are partnering with them. Somebody like say IDRBT, RBI, NIBM, IBM, IIA, BCBS, the RBI who first announced about this. So in addition to that, what we'll be doing is we'll be creating multilingual videos for awareness of training. For example, RBI in its say guidelines says that any IT incident needs to be reported within 2 to 6 hours. Okay? If we don't report that IT or cyber security incident, then they might penalize us. They can levy a penalty. Now, except for bigger banks, many of the smaller banks don't know what are the steps to be followed. Whether there needs to be a cyber crisis management, say, committee set up, who will take the action, whether to go to DR, whether to, say, stop the entire operations, migrate to DR, start the application from there, or whether to solve the problem. So all these steps in the form of a video, maybe a 2-minute or a 3-minute video, we have created one. If time permits, I can show you a sample also. And in multiple languages, say something like in Kannada. We are now creating English and Hindi. We can create it in Kannada as well. So we are targeting English, Hindi, Kannada, Malayalam, Gujarati, Bengali, and Tamil. So these 7-8 languages we are targeting. So these videos, we as an umbrella can provide you free of cost, and we will give you, say, the CEOs or chairmen of the bank. You can then say forward these videos to your staff so that they can get aware about what kind of actions they need to do for any kind of, say, matter in IT or non-IT. At least they will be aware, and then subsequently, if you think your staff wants to be trained or he has his area of work is that particular, say, area of expertise, then probably you can send him for the training online, offline, whatever. But the awareness, many of the time what happens is, and we had, say, visited NIBM in Guwahati. So they are conducting training as told by RBI. So what is happening is they are conducting training and they are inviting the banks, all those 7 states who are in that region. They are inviting the staff of the banks for training. They are not only inviting, they are paying 15,000 rupees per, say, student for that training from the institute. Plus lodging, boarding, food, everything taken care of. Still the bank are not able to send the staff for training. When we inquired why they are not able to send, sir, we only have 3-4 staff. If that staff goes for training, now who will do the business, who will run the bank? So not every time the staff can go for training. So hence we are thinking about this video. So at least some basic information the staff can get wherever he is, say, checking his mobile, maybe in bank, outside of bank. So at least he gets the awareness. Then we can grow upon that. We can also create some good learning management platform so that you can check all this offline also. You don't need to go anywhere. Sir, CBS I mentioned. CBS we already floated a tender. I'll tell you what our idea is. We are going to, say, ideally we are going to shortlist 2 CBS providers, the best of the soft CBS providers in the industry. I'll just take the names, say TCS banks or say Infosys Finacle. We are already discussing with them, and we will say create a lighter version of that Finacle or a TCS banks, and then host on our umbrella's infrastructure, so hardware with software, all the cyber security compliance, everything taken care of, and then give it to banks on a pay-per-use model. That is the idea we have. We have already put a tender. So our ideal scenario is we will shortlist, say, 2 CBSs, but in case there are, say, 4 CBSs, we are still okay. We can give 4 options, one for each tier of the bank. So tier 1 gets one, tier 2 gets another, like that for tier 3 and tier 4. So that is what we are working on. We shall be, we are targeting this CBS to be rolled out somewhere in September this year. Okay, because this process takes a lot of time. Although, say, we are not a public sector organization like NUCFDC, but still it is your money. So tomorrow you may ask us, okay, why did you choose this particular company? Why not the other company? So hence we are following a fair and a transparent process of tendering so that nobody gets questioned and we get the best of the solution at a reasonable rate. Next slide. So these 2 areas here, centralizing the IT and providing you the cyber security, network operations, application monitoring, everything. We already have published a tender in January, 24 January. We are calling it Sehakar Cloud. So a cloud, we are already partnering with IFTAS. We have already rolled out 2 services on IFTAS's cloud. And you know, if IFTAS is there, all the compliances from RBI in terms of technology already is taken care of. And in case there is any small issue, RBI possibly could be little bit lenient towards IFTAS than to any other third-party vendor. Okay. So this we have already floated. On this Sarkar cloud, we will then roll out, as I said, CBS, LMS, AML solution, video KYC solution, your fraud management. Now say, earlier I mentioned that even smaller banks can get the digital banking, UPI, net banking services. One of the reasons why RBI is not allowing the smaller banks is, say, the skills they don't have the money to invest so much in technology. Third angle is, once they roll out the services, they get exposed to all the cyber security and fraud. So they cannot definitely deploy the fraud management or fraud prevention detection solutions. See, these solutions are very, very costly. In my earlier organization, in IDBI, even we could not afford that fraud prevention solution. Somehow we got the exceptional approval from our board to get that solution. It costs roughly about say 40 to 50 crores, the fraud management solution. So we will provide that centrally so that you don't pay the entire amount, you pay fraction like pay per use. Today say if people, also see young people here, so Gmail you are using, it's free up to 15 GB, but beyond 15 GB you pay what 100, 200 rupees per month. So that is the amount of model we are thinking. You pay nominal cost, no one-time fee, no setup fee, you just pay, say we are thinking of quarterly, so quarterly you pay some amount to use say core banking or fraud prevention or AML, LOS, LMS, your NACH systems, RTGS, NEFT like that. So we are devising this model. While we are discussing on that, we have thought in terms of pricing, 3 say versions would be there. One is the member pricing. The banks who are member of the urban cooperative banks, say umbrella, they will be getting the lowest price. Then there will be banks who are members but who have not contributed fully. I will explain what that fully contribution means. They will get some higher price. Today, how many banks here are providing UPI services by themselves directly or through sponsor banks? Can you please raise hand? Yes, very few. Out of the, I guess, 10, 11 banks here, only 3, 4 banks are providing. And if I may ask, what is the, say, transaction cost you are paying to the switch provider or the NPCI? Roughly, you can say, per transaction? 2 rupees. Okay. So how much? 50 paisa. Okay. So we have been capturing this data. We have also spoken to NPCI. The range of the price that the banks are paying, especially in urban cooperative banks for UPI, is between 2 paisa to 2 rupees. Okay. Some banks are even paying 2 paisa per transaction. Why? Because they have that much volume of transactions. Some banks are paying 2 rupees because they are not having that much volume. That is one cost. Second is you are also paying the switch provider for his software, maintenance, everything. Third is if you are not directly providing UPI, you are going to a sponsor bank, then you are keeping some float money in the sponsor bank, right? Now that float money, that bank is using the interest on that, you don't get anything, right, for all the settlement. That is third. Fourth is, on top of this, because your IT infrastructure is not that strong, I'm not saying for all, but most of the banks, and the entire UPI transaction must happen within 30 seconds, like right from somebody scans a QR code till the time the money is deposited in somebody else's account. The entire journey should happen in 30 seconds. If it doesn't happen in 30 seconds, and if it results in a technical decline. Okay, there are 2 types of decline, business and technical. So technical decline. If the technical decline is beyond 2% on a daily basis, RBI will penalize you. That is his third or fourth part. Fifth is, even after doing all this UPI, you are not getting any income. You are just doing it for the customer, right? So we spoke to NPCI. They told us that if you collectively come on behalf of all the banks, then they can reduce the price. They can give that tier-wise price. Similar price what people are paying, the bigger banks are paying even 1 paisa, 2 paisa like that. And the benefit will be for all the banks. Even if say no matter your transactions are say 20,000 in a month, still you will be paying 1 or 2 paisa. That is the discussion we are having in NPCI. So your transaction cost reduces. The money that you are paying to switch provider, because Umbrella will be hosting the entire infrastructure, software, you don't need to pay them because already you are doing a paper use. So your cost reduces. Third is, although today we are an NBFC, like Umbrella is NBFC, already we are speaking to RBI. If they give a forbearance, we can also do that settlement, and in that settlement, the kind of float that you typically keep with bigger banks will be lesser or maybe no float. We are working on that. And fourth, because it will be our infrastructure, the declines will be within that range, 0.5%, okay, so you don't get penalized. These are the 4 advantages when we start the UPI service and you join us. Fifth advantage, as I said, UPI is not a business generating proposal for you. There is no income for you. What we will do is say, today most of the people transact using UPI. Even corporates are doing that, okay. So to some MSME or some customer, if he doesn't have a balance sheet, he doesn't have a PNL, using UPI, can we generate a mock PNL, and on that basis, you can give loans to that particular customer. This is just an example, but there are many other things from the data that we get through UPI, you can generate business. Another question I would have, say typically in private banks and my earlier experience as well. So per customer, there is a ratio, like every customer, the bank tries to sell minimum 5 to 6 products per customer. Now, if I may ask, how many banks are selling more than 3 products to a customer? Can you please raise your hand? Who is selling more than 3 customers, 3 product per customer? See, very few banks are like that. In fact, when we asked this question to those banks in Nasik, there were say 70 odd banks were there. None of the hands were raised. They were only selling 1 product per customer. So with this UPI data and the common data that we have, you can propose more products to the customer. Say somebody has a good balance, he is maintaining good balance in his account, you can offer him credit card, you can offer him personal loan, you can offer him home loan, then you can also offer him some education loan. Like that, you can give more products per customer. So typically in say private banks and also in say SBI and Canara Bank and Bank of Baroda, they measure this. So per customer, how many products am I selling? Now for that, you need data. You can't do this using Excel sheets or papers or printouts. No, you can't do it. You need system for this. Marketplace already explained. Now, till now, we have just explained the things which will help you to improve compliance, reduce IT cost, improve your business in digital say areas. This one, Bharat Box, is an innovative offering. As what RBI also had mentioned in our say license, that you should also create products which are innovative in nature for the sector. Now people who are aware about the aeroplanes and have been traveling, so there is a black box in the aeroplane. Now all that thing that happens between the air traffic control and the pilot gets recorded in the black box. So in case of any eventuality, any catastrophe, the black box is retrieved, and then they study the black box to first to find out what went wrong, and then they will use it so that such things are not repeated for other say planes or other travel. Similar to that, Bharat Box, that is what we have say this concept we have developed. We have also on the final stages of developing this product, this equipment. It's a hardware. So it's a small hardware which will be deployed in your branches. This hardware, it will get connected to your PCs. It will take a real-time backup of all that data in the branch. So what will happen tomorrow? Say for example, there is an attack in the branch, cyber attack, but your data is still safe. I will tell you without naming the bank. I will tell you one instance, recent incident in November, December. A state cooperative bank, when they first on one fine day, they opened their bank, the branch. They went inside and they didn't have any data. There was a ransomware attack on the bank They didn't have any data, nothing about the customer, no money, nothing. The customers were walking in saying, sir, I have so and so, say 50,000 deposit, I want to withdraw 15,000 rupees. But the teller or the officer was not able to recognize the customer because his system has no record. Now imagine this could happen. And the ransomware people were asking for money. No, not Karnataka. Not Karnataka, sir, not Karnataka. So imagine this happening to you or maybe to any of the banks. Now you would not be able to do business. That bank took about 7-8 days to come back to business. Now that's a lost opportunity. Plus, even after say the bank decides to pay the money, you are not sure whether that data he is not going to keep one copy with him. Said to later on, maybe he will again try to attack you. So this Bharat box is a secure box. Even in case of such scenarios, your data is with you. Let the people claim your data is with you. That is one tick in the box from the RBI perspective. Now this particular Bharat box, the backup of this box we will take in our umbrellas cloud. So your DR compliance gets checked. Okay. Plus our umbrellas cloud also has a DR, its own DR. So a third level backup. So you have 3 backups of your data. So anything which happens in your branch, you don't need to worry. You have all the backup with us, with you. Okay. Plus this Bharat box will also contain a 5G SIM. So maybe your branches don't have the secondary network, or maybe the secondary network has some issues. Okay, typically the fiber issues or connectivity issues or RF issues. Okay, so then you can use this network as your secondary or primary network whenever required. So network connectivity also gets resolved. This is what we have planned in the first stage of this box. The second stage, we are also planning to keep some softwares in that, so that all your desktops which you are purchasing, you don't need to buy heavy desktops, high configuration desktops. You can simply buy say thin clients which are very cheap, and all the software is there in Bharat box. So any officer's PC doesn't have anything. It just has the memory. He can't store anything over there. He will log into this. It has the CBS. It will log in the CBS, do the transaction. He logs into the LOS, do the transactions. His machine doesn't have anything. So his particular desktop or laptop, if somebody is using, if it gets stolen, vandalized, you don't need to worry. Your data is safe. So that is what we are. We already have floated a tender. We are doing a pilot. Few banks already have said yes to us, and we are going to do 2 pilots for this box. After I send this presentation, any bank who is interested, we can do a pilot. It's not going to say disturb your business. It's just going to help you to secure your data from cyber security. Next slide, please. This we explained. Next slide. So, sir, these 2 services we have launched. The first one is automation in compliance management. This software we say 3-4 options we evaluated, and the option that we have chosen is the same software which RBI uses, okay, for checking the compliance of all the urban cooperative banks. This particular software, as I mentioned, this is having about 130 AI bots, okay, and each AI bot has multiple rules. So all these rules have been configured basis various master directions, circulars, guidelines from RBI over the years till December 2024 when it was launched. Till that time, whatever circulars were there, everything is configured in this. You have to there are 2 options. You can integrate this with your core banking or the MIS server to get the data. We have a format. Or in case your core banking vendor is not supporting you in getting that integration done, we also have option to upload you can take the file export a file from the core banking or the MIS and upload it here. You will get the compliance posture of your bank. So all kind of compliance, technical, non-technical, maybe say something like you have not captured the PAN number of the customer, maybe the KYC is not done properly, his email address is not captured, or maybe during the process the maker had done properly, reviewer has not done the review, or checker has not done the checking. All those things this software can capture. This software is hosted on the Umbrella's cloud on the IFTAS, and we are providing you this particular software for members. It is 25,000 rupees per month per bank. Okay. Now that per bank includes 6 licenses. One is the creator license, who can enter and say modify data, and others are viewer licenses. Now this particular software, already we are signing say agreements with various banks to start them onboarding on this compliance management software. One other thing is, as I mentioned, all the compliances regulations till December 2024 are there in this software. What we are also saying is, anything which comes in this year till December 2025, we will incorporate that change in the software free of cost. From January 2026, if something new comes, new regulation, then we will see what is the regulation, what is the complexity. Basis that, we will then slightly maybe change the pricing. 25,000 becomes 20,100, something like that. Okay. So that is what we are planning. And this 25,000 is inclusive of hardware, software, the underlying upgrade, cyber security, managing it. So roughly it comes to about 3 lakh per year. I think so. In 3 lakh, you won't even get a person to do all this job for a yearly salary of 3 lakhs. Okay, so that's the cost we are trying to put for the software. Second, we have, this also was a demand from the sector, legal expert team. This also we have rolled out. So, various banks, when they had been discussing with us, they said, sir, the agreements that we sign with the vendors, IT vendors, or say lease and license agreement, we don't have the expertise, and typically what happens, the agreement becomes one-sided. So in case of any issue, the bank is not even able to take any action on the vendor. Forget about penalty, bank is not able to take any action. And this is a live case. We are already working with one bank in Gujarat who is facing this issue. So our team is supporting. Till date, about 7-8 banks have approached us for various legal expertise. Now this service also we have launched on 27 November. Okay. In this service, there are 3 parts. First part is the various, say, templates for RFP, NDA, any lease and license contract, branch opening, or in network, say, vendor contract. All these contracts are available on our website free of cost. We are not charging you for that. That is one part. Second part is, you have any agreement, any existing agreement with any vendor you have, IT, non-IT, and maybe it is say 4 or 5 pages. You can send it to us, we can review, we can tell you what needs to be changed in this contract so that your interests are safeguarded. This also is free of cost. Beyond this, any agreement you want to create new, or you have some bigger agreement with 20-30 pages, please send it to us. We will review, we will provide you legal expertise, and that expertise will be lesser than the market rate. Whatever rate you are getting in the market will be lesser than that. So this is what we have launched in November. Another service is a risk-based audit. We are doing a pilot in the month of March with 3 banks. Now this is as per the RBI circular for risk-based internal audit. So this particular software, again same principle like this, entire thing provided as a service. This particular software will help you to carry out your concurrent audit, branch audit, everything, and it has about 3,600 rules in it. So all your audits you can capture, aging you can capture, compliance you can capture. This we are trying to roll out in April. Just one comment here. See, we started in September 2024. You can see the speed with which we are working. You can tell, and we are just a team of 11 officers. In our umbrella, we are hiring, we have rolled out few offers, people are joining, we are making partnership. But this is the speed we want to maintain. Next slide, please. Yeah, this we spoke about digital. So all these things can happen only after that you become members. So today, see, we have to reach 300 crores. Today, 215 banks are with us. We have raised a capital of 250.45 crore. So remaining 50 crores is there. I would request all the banks in say Karnataka or the banks of Savarda say association, they can participate. Next slide. So this is a split of all the banks. and the member banks already 11 banks from Karnataka are our member. So these are the number of banks. We also have a say proposal. Next. Yeah, for smaller banks, especially for smaller banks, this is the investment we are asking. What we are saying is you have to invest 0.15% of your deposits as on March 31st, 2024. So for every 100 rupees, 15 paisa. So 1 crore 15,000 rupees, like that. So that is what we are expecting. And if say some bank is not able to invest fully, you can give it in 2 tranches, because money you don't have to give now. It's a private placement process. So you can pass a board resolution saying that you want to invest 0.15%, 0.10% in first tranche, say 0.5% in second tranche, like that. But especially for tier 1 banks, we have got this proposal, say bank having deposit below 25 crore, they can just invest 1 lakh. A bank having deposit, say less than 100 crore, but more than 75 crore, they can just invest 15 lakh. And this is not a membership fee. This is an investment. Meaning is, after putting this money or giving this money to us, you become our shareholders. Okay. So the structure of our organization is 80% of the ownership will be with urban cooperative banks and 20% with government and RBI put together. So what will happen is, all the services that we are providing, and RBI has mentioned that in our license that we will be only providing to member urban cooperative bank. Although we have written to RBI saying that we should also be allowed to give it to non-member at maybe a different price. So, but we have written, we are awaiting their approval. And whatever we earn in this process, if we deduct our cost, our human cost, everything, whatever we earn, the dividend from the income again will be paid back to you. Maybe in the year 2 or year 3, okay? Not in year 1, but year 2 and year 3. So please understand, what will happen is, you are our shareholders and you are our customers also. We don't have any other business. We are not going to give this service to any other bank or any vendor or any company. Only to 1472 urban cooperative banks. So whatever you pricing we do, maybe your dividend will be lesser. If we price higher, your dividend will be more. So choice is between that. You want high dividend or you want say service at a lesser prices. Next slide. So this is the last slide I have. So typically this question gets asked to us, sir, we are going to pay so and so amount, what will we get? So you will get the state of the art IT at affordable cost, meaning is all your say effort in terms of purchasing, maintaining, upgrading, managing the vendor, everything goes away. You are just you are just interacting with the umbrella, nobody else. We are interacting with the vendors in turn. Slowly we will build our infrastructure. As I mentioned, digital banking capabilities even for smaller banks who are having say net worth less than 50 crores. Skilled manpower I mentioned, like virtual CISO, tax auditor, okay, GST. You will also get the, as I mentioned, complexity of managing vendor. You don't need to run so many payments, invoices. You just need to talk to umbrella. With all this, you get the compliance, everything we'll take care of. Financial support from you, I mentioned. So although we have talked mostly about IT, but not on the financial side, you will get the capital support. Some bank is well run, but is in some distress, we will provide support in terms of finance to that bank. Okay. But banks which are not well run, we will not be helping them, because ultimately it's the sector's money, right? So you will say some bank, they are deliberately doing say wrong business, but you are helping them. We are not going to do that. Then, as I mentioned, the brand, say like common brand like Amul, we can create. It's just an idea today. We will come to you with proper proposal. We'll email you guys. And lastly, I mentioned about the dividend and share premium. So once you make the investment, then you become our shareholders. Maybe in year 2 or year 3, you get the dividend also. And the process for membership is you have to pass a board resolution that you want to invest in the umbrella. There is a format I will share with Karkun sir. And after that, you send that board resolution to us and also supply your demat account details. Then when we conduct our AGM or EGM, then our say board and the existing shareholders agree. Thereafter, we'll communicate to you, yes, so now your membership is approved. Then you please transfer the money. So that's how this process. This will take about 2-3 months. But you can always send the board resolution so that we are running the process now. That is one part. Sir, this is a one-time investment. If you make this investment in 2025, we are going to come back to you. And let me tell you one thing, sir. Because RBI has asked us to raise 300 crores, hence we are asking for the money. If you ask me, we don't need 300 crores. Okay, we can start the service, but because RBI has put that condition and we have, say, collected 250 crores, we just need 50 crores. After we reach 300, we are not going to come to you to ask money. We'll just make you the members. That modalities we'll discuss. So the idea is all the 1472 banks need to be member. The minister also says that everybody should become member. Once you reach 300 crores, later on, people can come and what could be membership fee or whether there would be no fee, that is what we'll tell you. But we just need to reach the 300 crores.
ಇದುವರೆಗೆ ಸನ್ಮಾನ್ಯ ಪದ್ಮಭೂಷಣ ಬಹದ್ದೂರೆ ಅವರು ತಮ್ಮ ಈ ಒಂದು ಅಂಬ್ರೆಲಾ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಸಹ ಬಹಳ ವಿವರವಾಗಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವರಿಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಸಂಯುಕ್ತ ಸಹಕಾರಿ ಪರವಾಗಿ ನಿಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರ ಪರವಾಗಿ ಅನಂತ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳನ್ನು ತಿಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ವೆರಿ ಮಚ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಅವ್ರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಬಂದಿರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಶ್ರೀಯುತ ಪಿಯೂಷ್ ಮಿಸ್ತ್ರಿ ಅವ್ರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಅನಂತ ಧನ್ಯವಾದ ಸಲ್ಲಿಸ್ತೇನೆ.